Hello, everyone, and welcome to our conversation. This is Roger and Lou, and today we wanted to discuss, is it being of disservice to other people if we don't stand up for what we want and instead just please them? Roger, what do you think about that?
Let me think about that. Yeah, I think probably it is a disservice. That was a given, but why is that? Because I think as you go down the path of doing something for somebody else where your heart may not be into it, there's all of these things that the monkey mind starts to come up with that, well, I'm going to do this and then I'm going to expect this in return. And it's kind of that eye for an eye, and not necessarily in a negative way, but I think that's where, if you're not careful and have a resonance in that conversation and be authentic with, well, I'm going to go with you and do this. And would you mind going to visit my mom and dad, or whatever the scenario is? I mean, what's your take on it, Lou?
Oh, I agree 100% too. I think that it ends up pushing people farther away from us. Mm-hmm. I think that the mindset about being pleasing to others, going along with what they want, is something about, okay, I want to be part of this relationship, team, whatever it is. But yet at the same time, what ends up happening, I think, is that people end up getting pushed further away because, to me, there's if we're not standing for what it is that we want, then there is almost like a resentment that gets built because, that person pushed me into doing that. I didn't, in anger at self, I didn't stand up for myself. And then you end up pushing that person further away from you because I don't want to feel those feelings. I want to feel good. And so that person ends up getting pushed away. And if you look at it from the other side, if you stand up for what you want and the other person stands for what they want, then there's the opportunity to compromise, to really come together on something that both people want. A win-win.
Right. I think you're right. And something that really came to me was when this scenario occurs, I think it is important to be authentic, and say, well, I really don't want to, but here's what here's what I do want. And that is, I'm going to go with you because I want to spend time with you, blah, blah, blah. But I certainly don't enjoy going to the grocery store.
Yes.
And so, but I'm going to go because you and I can spend some time together because we haven't had much time together this week. And,
yes.
And, next week's going to be equally as busy. And whenever I go to play baseball, I really would like to have you come, even though I'm going to be out playing, but you to be up there, watching me, and I'll come visit with you, in between my playing time. I don't know. I mean, just some kind of to be honest and to bring it back around to say, hey, it's always kind of like, what's in it for you? What's in it for me? And lay it on the table.
Yes, absolutely. That coming to that place of compromise, a mutual agreement, a win-win. Absolutely, I agree.
Right. Yeah. Oh, Stephen Covey, win-win, right?
Win-win.
But it really works, and I think that, life happens so fast that, usually in the haste of a day, probably don't go through that exercise in your mind, or you might do it in your mind, but it never it never leaves your lips to share with who you're having this interaction with. So
I agree 100%. And there's also another piece to it too that I think that is, if we stand for what we want, if we are who we are, then it gives other people the opportunity to get to know us better too. If we're just in that place of pleasing all the time, then people never really get to know us.
They don't know, and they don't know that you're pleasing them. They're just kind of, oh, well, they're so nice. Oh, well, yeah, you're really nice, but
Yeah.
wow, who would have
Yeah.
known that,
Oh,
that going to see me play baseball was just a raw nerve, you
yeah.
know?
Yeah. I'm so nice, but there's this pot of boiling anger underneath this
And,
wonderful, perfect face.
and here comes the martyr.
Yeah.
Ooh, right.
Oh, yep. Oh, and the victim. Oh, they were so hard on me.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And then if you don't deal with it, you're, 25 years in a marriage, and all of a sudden it will come up. And every time you want to go see me play baseball, you're going to bring it up, that you
Yep.
think about, and it's, and of course, and through that, you're kind of living in the past. And I think by dealing with this authentically and in the present moment, it keeps it just there in the present moment. It doesn't let it become an energetic, block or
A wall.
raw nerve. Right. Yeah. A
Yeah,
wall.
a wall. We build walls because we don't communicate what we want. Yeah.
Yeah. But, and why don't we communicate what we want?
I don't know. I don't know why people don't. Are people afraid to ask for it? Is there
That's
is
what
there something about not being worthy of asking for what we want? We don't deserve what we want. I don't know.
The thing that came up for me was I think we're afraid of what somebody else might really think.
Ooh, good one. Yeah, that's exactly it. Oh, yeah.
That would be me. That would be a cross that I bear and that I continue to kind of, heal along my journey or whatever. But I think that to keep your, because we kind of started on the journey conversation about this interaction. I think if you can keep that flow of energy through that journey flowing, right,
Mhm.
and deal with it at the present time, then you're not 25 years into a marriage having a discussion about something that's well, who would have knew, right? Why did you say something 25 years ago?
Exactly. Yeah. And that's, most of the time when the fight starts and a disagreement, I'll say it that way.
Yeah, yeah.
Disagreement starts, then people start piling on all these things from the past that they didn't get. Well, it's that they didn't say that they wanted that.
Right. And something you said that is so I talk a lot about peeling the layers back of an onion to the core or something. But really, if you're not if you don't address these things as close to the present moment as you can, that's where your core starts. And
Yes.
so you're then adding layers on, and then you are X time frame later trying to address the difference of understanding.
Yes. Yes. So far apart that you can't find common ground anymore because you haven't built that common ground through compromise and finding those win-wins all along.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because a relationship, it is a compromise, and not in every interaction is there a win-win, but
No.
certainly as you look at it, if you can kind of take a step back and see that larger picture where the win-win is if it's truly a love relationship and you're together, you're after, then that's where the compromise starts to occur, right? And,
yes. And there's another perspective here on this too, in that we could really be doing a disservice to others by just pleasing them too. What if part of their journey, something that they're supposed to learn is how to compromise? What if that's part of their journey? And if we're always in the place of pleasing, they're not living their journey. They're not completing their journey. They're not learning their lessons that they want to learn in this life.
Well, yes and amen. I agree with you. And because it is a disservice, right? And it's a part of their journey, because there's so much of our beings that is just on autopilot.
Absolutely.
Even those of us that am I awakening? I absolutely believe I am, but yet there's still a part of my day to day that is an autopilot.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I think that in order to address these things, you kind of have to do the little stop and to break that energetic pattern,
Mm-hmm.
to think about something differently, to, I challenge everybody watching this to drive a different way to work tomorrow.
Absolutely. Get
Because
outside of the comfort box.
Because if you don't, you're disservicing yourself.
Yes.
Because you need to be to be aware and to although repetition, there's nothing wrong with it, but certainly to experience a different taste in life, because there may be some parts that is no disservice to your
Yes.
relationship or to accommodating somebody else, but there's other things where maybe it is, and being a constant seeker of knowledge and to continue to want to self-develop and grow, that go out and try something different.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and I agree with you. I challenge everybody too to think outside of the box, to be aware of those times when they're selling themselves short, because we don't get in life what we want unless we ask for it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the other part of it too, is that if we're not willing to put ourselves out there and ask for it, it won't come to us. How does Source know what we want if we don't ask for it?
Well, the same way, how does somebody?
Yeah. Oh, crystal. Let me shine up my crystal ball here.
Read my mind. Be clairvoyant. Yeah. Because that is so true. And I think that, as we ask, sometimes the answer might be no, right?
Yes.
And then why is that answer no? Or actually, I'll change it around. Sometimes what you've asked for, and as it presents itself, probably may not be just the way you expected it, but it was actually the way you energetically ask it.
Absolutely. And so are you talking about that everything that we ask for should come from our truth? Is that what you're saying?
Would be a good way to kind of bring this together. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of where we're at. We're saying, as we have this interaction, it's important to be authentically ourselves and to be present with that person as you're having the conversation about whatever the compromise may or may not be.
Yes. True to ourselves and true to everyone else at the same time.
Yeah. And that sounds all simple and good, but
Oh, that is the path less traveled. It is.
It really is. Yeah. And it takes a solid, brave individual to live in that. It's probably actually doing that is I would say less energy, but because it is not part of our autopilot, it feels more energetically tasking.
It's just that it feels that way. Anything that's new, anything that we change, it always feels like it takes so much energy. It's because it is new. And yes, it does take a little bit more. But when you get into it, yeah, you're right. When you live from that space, it takes a whole lot less energy in the long run than it does to continue on the path of just being in that pleasing place.
Right.
Yeah.
Agreed. Oh my. Good. The questions that go through our mind. If you only knew. But we're going to share them with you. So, because there's a whole bunch of more thought-provoking things that we talk about.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, do you have anything else you'd like to add, Roger?
No, I've my question answered. At least for now. I'm sure that there will be more things that will pop in my mind. But for now, I'm really good. And the thing I'm taking away is to really stay present in those situations and to share my true thoughts on the situation at hand, so that I don't disservice others and myself.
Exactly. And mine is that courage is always a good thing. Wear that badge of courage well. Stand up for yourself, and you're in through that process standing up for everyone else too.
Absolutely.
So I just realized we forgot to introduce
Oh.
ourselves in the beginning. So I'm just going to do my piece for close and let you do your piece, okay?
Sure.
I'm Lou Urban. You can reach out to me at my website at louurban.com. My areas of practice are I'm an energy medicine practitioner and a transformational coach.
Alrighty. And she's wonderful. I'm a client too. So, so I'm Roger Dawson. My website is rogerkdawson.com. You can find details on how to reach me there. I am a person who likes to help clients expand their awareness of the universal laws and to understand the many rabbit holes of this journey called law of attraction. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks so much for joining us. If you have any comments, feel free to leave them in the, in this feed. Otherwise, like Roger said, you can reach out to him at his website or me at my website. Thanks so much. Bye.
Namaste.